What is going on, guys? Reaper here. Another movie recommendation video today. This time I've got two that are somewhat similar in category but not in execution. So I'll jump right into it. The first one I want to talk about today is the first Back to the Future movie. Now, this is kind of a mixture of genres. I'd say it's more like adventure, sort of action, but also a lot of comedy elements to it. Um, and I'm sure most people have seen this movie, but for the few that haven't, essentially it's kind of actually what what's his name, Dan Harmon, the creator of Rick and Morty. He kind of based those characters on Doc Brown and Marty McFly from Back to the Future because crazy scientist, younger guy, um, and kind of their dynamic together. So that's kind of just an interesting little factoid for people who may not know that. But it's just a really fun, enjoyable movie. Obviously, there's three of them. The first one is by far, obviously, the best one. The second one is actually really good too. A lot of people were kind of like hit or miss on the sequels, but I personally like the second one, and I honestly like the third one too, just because I love the characters. The ending of three was a little bit meh, but that's not the one we're talking about today, so I'll stop talking about it. It's got a lot of really good elements. It has a lot of 80s music to it. It's got a 80s feel to it. So if you don't like that era, you can still find enjoyment in there. I just personally like the era with the music and the movies and all those different aspects of the pop culture of the 80s just because I don't know. I feel personally like that was a good time for music and movies, especially like, Ferris Bueller, Breakfast Club, um, Halloween movies. Like, it was a good era for those movies, and Back to the Future kind of encompasses all of that. Really enjoyable, has kind of a heartfelt story, I guess, but it also has honestly, it's just a really good movie, and it's funny because the first time I watched it was maybe 6 years ago, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, probably about 6 years ago. I was recommended by a teacher, and we watched it, and actually really enjoyed it. And I went on to watch the sequels. Hadn't watched them in a few years, and then I finally bought them on Blu-ray, uh, probably like 2 months ago, and I rewatched them all, and I forgot how amazing they are. And like I said, honestly, just really good movies. The second movie I'm going to talk about today is a pretty much straight comedy, um, and it's Tommy Boy. Now, the story of this one is essentially young kid. Well, he's fresh out of college, played by Chris Farley, and his dad owns a brake pad uh, auto industry, I guess you want to call it. He doesn't make cars, but he makes the parts for the cars. And brake pads are their new line of equipment. And his dad, this isn't a spoiler, his dad passes away in the beginning of the movie. Um, he gets a little bit of screen time, but like he pretty much dies in the beginning. And they don't know what to do. The father was on the cusp of a big sale, and then another rival manufacturer wanted to buy them out. So it's up to Tommy Boy and his partner, who was effectively his dad's partner, played by David Spade. Um, and they essentially go on a road trip of sorts um, to sell these new brake pads to save the business. And it sounds kind of boring when I say it out loud, but it's just a really fun movie. Honestly, Chris Farley passed away way too soon. He had so much left to give, and he's just hilarious. Everything he's in, I just recently, well, just yesterday and today, I watched Wayne's World 1 and 2 because I just picked those ones up, and he was in both of those, and I totally forgot because I haven't seen Wayne's World in a few years, and it was a nice little treat, I guess, to get to see him in those movies because he really was a hilarious guy. He was on SNL. He was just he's super funny, and I would definitely recommend Tommy Boy because, like I said, it's just he steals every scene he's in, and it's just really fun to watch. A lot of their stuff, not a lot of it, but a decent portion of the stuff was improv. I know that's kind of a common occurrence sort of in comedy, especially if you're looking at movies like Grown Ups or, Step Brothers, but I personally like that aspect to it because you're getting genuine reactions, genuine laughs, and I think improv can definitely enhance a scene as opposed to, and it just spices it up too, because if you know anything about filmmaking, obviously people record takes, 20, 30 times in a row or in a day, and it just gets stale after a while, obviously, and it's, improv gives people on the set a way to kind of experience new stuff and not have to go through the same thing over and over, and I don't know, I just think that improv is beneficial in the movies. So yeah, this was a little bit ranting, or I guess talking too much, but not as long as I expected, so I'm getting better, guys, I promise. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have seen any of these, let me know. If you guys have any suggestions for movies, again, that I should watch, I would love to have those in the comments below. And drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Peace out.